I'm glad that you guys are getting into this character chart series. It's always a little worrying starting a new character chart series on a webtoon that I don't typically talk about, but I'm glad that you guys are getting just as excited about this series and these characters as I am. And especially with our next character. Someone who I think is rather important to the story, but has also kind of been in the backlight, the sideline, for a while now. Vikki Song. By the way, I never paid attention to the characters' last names, so I just realized some of their last names while writing the script, like Charles Jones. Anyways, first appearing in episode 3, she is very much the yang to Angela's yin, a buffer, or kinda like a peacemaker. While seemingly soft-spoken and emotional, crying at the thought of her friend crying, this translates well into a role in friendship, the peacemaker, if you will. Vicky establishes herself as someone who is caring and thoughtful, in stark contrast to Angela. While I do plan on discussing her at another time, it's important to understand the base level of who Angela is. Compared to Vicky, and actually just everyone in the series, Angela is fiery, hot-headed, very aggressive, planning the assault of someone who'd badmouthed her friends. But notice Vicky in this section. Yes, her eyes are seemingly closed, but more importantly, her response. They're all careful, all thought out, all responsible, all understanding. Her response to one of her dear friend's games being trashed by a YouTuber who didn't understand it? Reasoned and justified. When Angela threatens to physically assault martial law, her response is simple. Assault would be unwise. And her reasoning is airtight. Oh right, Let's Play actually has an animated series that has voices. Let me see if I can find her voice and maybe... Oh, she doesn't appear in the animated series. Okay, anyways, her reasoning is airtight. Though it is true he did play Ruminate incorrectly, it was Marshall's fans that took action against Sam, not Marshall himself. It sounds like his fans are more to blame in this instance. Taking time to establish what everyone's deal is, trying not to villainize Marshall, while also kind of blaming the fans that take everything their favorite YouTuber says at face value. And it's absolutely true. Vicky's nature is to make sure blame isn't thrown on people incorrectly, to make sure everyone has a fair shot, even when people are seemingly guilty. Moving on, Vicky's role isn't as important as other characters. While her next role is during a raid party where their guild got to rank 3, there's really not much to Vicky's character in this moment, other than being a mediator for the group and casually breaking gender stereotypes. But her next role is an important moment with martial law. As you remember, this webtoon is about the sometimes iffy relationship between YouTubers and game developers, and how sometimes YouTubers can do things that aren't great. While martial law did play the game incorrectly, he then appears at their favorite local coffee shop. And Sam apparently has very, very good and extremely loyal friends. While some people like Link only get very mad at him, and others, like Angela, physically try to attack him, Vicky, though, is different. In this dangerous situation, she wants to protect her dear friends from criminal charges, but also wants to get someone who's not entirely guilty out of danger, even slightly singing to her hothead friends to hold her back. However, her bigger role comes in peace and with gifts. And this is one of the most interesting aspects of Vicky. Not only being apologetic and caring, but being able to see things that most people are unable to. The emo-coons are when emotions are given human forms. They appear often, and are the webtoon's way of expressing feelings, emotions, and how they can or can't affect us. I'll be talking about them later, but they're just that, emotions. While given a semi-physical form, they're not really supposed to be real. They're not really supposed to be presence. However, Vicky can see these emotions. Kind of like having a friend who's really good at reading people. Vicky is that person, being able to physically see martial law's depression hang over him, offering him a friend and even a hug, to which he struggles to accept it. But Vicky here is incredibly merciful. By the way, I wanted to apologize for my friend Angela's behavior. She's got a temper problem, but she's been getting help with it. But don't worry about Angela. She'll cool off eventually. The three of us have a really long history together, and Angela has her reasons for being very protective of Sam. Vicky is no doubt a good person, apologizing and making amends when it's really not even her fault. She's a team player, literally. When they show her player stats, her strongest aspect is her teamwork. Her strength is that she's very team-oriented, and it shows in the game of room nights and her job. While we only get to see two people play room nights, that being Martial Law and Charles Jones, each adding to their character, who they are and how they act. But we do get to see other characters in the actual game. Some characters that I won't mention in my character chart series are Abe, Sam's guildmaster as a forest ranger, Olivia and her butler Edgar as some werewolves, Bowser as a dog dragon thing, and Sam's mother as a queen. Now all of those roles have some importance. Abe is a mama bear to his guild members in the real world, so he's a protector in the game world. Olivia and Edgar can be kind of cutthroat, which translates to werewolves. Sam's mother is considered a queen by most, and Bowser is a dog. While Vicky's role is small, it kind of shows who she is. While she's a witch and seemingly growing catnip in a world where cats are humanoids, which I guess is kind of like growing drugs, that's not the point though, when the werewolves are brought to help, she accepts them with open arms. If it's alright with the queen, these two can stay here and guard my gardens. I can use potions to cull their bloodlusts, until a cure for their curse can be found. All while petting and scratching them. But also notice her job, yoga and meditation. It's an interesting job. While I'm not into yoga or meditation, or really any physical activity, yoga and meditation are seemingly an interesting way to assist people that are going through issues, be it physical or mental. When Martial Law had the octopus heart thing caused by stress, he had to attend some classes, and Vicky is constantly being a nice and soothing teacher, and a helper to assist Marshall in his endeavors. Letting his dog in, teaching him the basics, even introducing him to her game. Anyways, after some fourth wall breaks and some fun yoga class, we see the return of Vicky's seemingly special ability to sense emotions, pains, and difficulties. By simply offering Marshall a hand and helping him up. She's seen things that no one else has seen. She's seen his switch. She's seen his difficulties, his struggles, a hidden side to martial law that few have ever known about. And it's easy to see by Vicky's reaction. She's absolutely shocked by this. We see her visibly shaken up and sweating, and even a little later crying about it, which adds to her character. She's an emotional person. But these emotions don't overtake her. They don't completely control her. You see, I think in media and entertainment, we always use the term emotional as a bad thing. And when people are emotional, they're weak, they lack confidence, they're not that strong. However, I think Vicky establishes a great standard for a strong emotional character. She's never punished for having emotions. In fact, she's considered unique and special, that she can read and even understand what people are going through. Her strength comes from the fact that she has emotions and cares about others. She can read and understand when people are feeling down or when someone needs help. Her feelings are seen as a positive thing. The fact that she's overtaken by emotions when she sees a dear friend that has been crying, or how absolutely shaken she is when she sees the pain and suffering someone else is going through. These are her strengths. That's what makes her a strong character. That's what makes her a great character. Now, I typically go through a handful, but not all of the character's moments. And I always typically miss something big, and you guys always talk about it, but that's not really the case with Vicky. She's important, but she doesn't have a ton of screen time. But this doesn't detract to who she is. She's a loving and caring person, someone who looks out for others, making sure they stay out of trouble, and that they're the best they can be at that moment. That's why I'm putting Vicky into lawful good. She's a kind, sweet person, understanding everyone and making sure that even people who once hurt her friend are getting better. She's a great person. Someone I think who can teach us how to be nicer, how to judge less, how to help others more. But what do you think? Have you paid attention to Vicky before this moment? Did you care about her at all? Did you know her last name was Song? Because I didn't. But what do you think about her? Leave it in the comments below, because I love reading those. But, like always, thank you for watching.